Hello, Dayo. Finally live here this morning. It is Friday, April 14th, and today we're talking all about radicals with Gloria from Dope Chinese.
Hello guys. I'm sorry I'm so late today.
Oh, that's okay. I'm still getting ready. But yeah, we thought we're going to try to keep it really short and sweet and help you guys kind of get some understanding of radicals. So let's jump right in, and then we can discuss later. If you guys have questions, you can put them in the comments as we go along. But yeah, let me share my screen first, and and uh, and let's get going. Share screen.
Oh,
I
I'm
can
here.
hear you. Are you listening to me? Am I like I can hear myself? Are you?
I just opened it. I just
Mm,
opened.
okay. Okay. So here, okay, if you guys can see, I made a little presentation, um, and we're going to be talking today about
So
radicals.
cute.
What good are they? Right? So I'm super skeptical about everything. Usually when I learn something new or when I hear something, I'm always like, right, why? And I'm always questioning things. So that's why, like, what good are they? Do people still need them? These are all questions that I'm asking actually about radicals. So moving on, let's see, it's kind of hard to share my screen. So today, what we're going to be talking about is what radicals are and where they came from, how I learned them and how I use them or not,
Mm.
how Gloria, how you learned them and how you use them or not. And then we're going to be talking about ways, well, actually throughout the whole talk today, about how you can learn them and why you'd want to learn them and how you can use them to increase your knowledge of Cantonese characters, well, Chinese characters, but of course, we do them in Cantonese pronunciation. And then, of course, questions, if you have them, put them in the comment section.
Mm-hmm.
So, what are radicals? That's the first thing. Is it if you're completely new to learning characters, Chinese characters, radicals are both. No, I can hear myself, Gloria. It's kind of. Can,
Why you can hear yourself?
I think it's through you.
From
Is it?
me?
Yeah. Is it from your? Wait, is it you or is it me?
No. I
Oh,
think maybe because did you open another room? I mean another page of it?
there. It's gone, isn't it? Okay,
I don't
good.
know. I could
Mm,
only hear one of yours.
it was
Yeah.
me. Sorry, everybody. That was me.
Let me check how many people right now.
Okay.
Um wait. Does it say that? Oh, only 3 people. Maybe only
Okay.
one listener, or maybe one is that you. Oh, four
It might be
people. We
me.
got 4 people right now. Okay.
It might be me. If you're joining, give us a comment or just listen in as we go through this. We're going to be talking again about radicals, and radicals in Cantonese are bo sao, bo
Mm.
sao. And I put it in Yale. I know that bo is your sixth low tone, bo, and sao. And so, oh, yeah, I agree. Leading into the weekend's a tougher time to stream, which is good because we're going to record it and then hopefully people will see it. But I kind of find it weird how YouTube puts it under the live tab so it doesn't go straight into your videos. So I'm not sure how to work around that issue, but we'll be hopefully people watching it on the replay. So thank you, John. And so yeah, bo sao. Now, bo means part, right? Like bo fun.
Mm. Yeah.
Yeah. So bo is like part, and correct me if I'm wrong, but sao is like sao xin, like
Mm.
first or lead or head, right?
Mm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it kind of makes sense. But in any case, bo sao, if you hear about that, um, thank you. um, but the more that that's just bo sao is just how to say radical. Okay. So the radicals give the meaning to the character. And I've lost Gloria, I think. She'll rejoin us, and if she does, I'll add her back in. My goodness, the technical difficulties today. Um, so basically, radicals, bosao, are they impart meaning to the character, but of course, not always. There's always exceptions, but you can glean some meaning if you know the bosao. Okay, and we'll show you how that happens. And radicals can be characters all by themselves. So it's a fully formed character that has meaning, and sometimes they're not. They're like a hooked downstroke, which is kind of, I always say it's kind of like a radical form, or the me character, which is silk, but in radical form. You wouldn't say that usually. Oh, Gloria, you're back. Yay.
Sorry.
Good, because I actually want to get your input on this. When I'm teaching the radicals in the class, there's some radicals that have meaning, like yan, right, person, and that's a character that has meaning. But there's some radicals that I just say that's just the radical form. For example, like mek, the silk radical, right? That's one, like, right? Like, so some radicals, or like they pronounce it, I think, ku, like a hooked downstroke, they say. And those radicals, they're just pieces. They seem like pieces. You wouldn't really use them in speaking. Am I right? Or is that?
Yeah, you're right. So for those, sometimes once when I teach and then the book shows how to read the radical for, I just tell the student, no, don't read it, don't learn it, because no one say it. Yeah.
Right.
So some radicals name we just according to where we put it. So we just name it. For example, for like I don't have a board. So sorry.
I do.
Could you
I
write
know.
the
I know.
could you write the 头发头 for us?
Oh,
Maybe write a
头发头.
球 for us. Write a
I
球
want.
for us.
Am I right to say it looks like two tens? I don't know if you guys can
Yeah.
see that.
Could you write the 球 for us? The whole 球.
You have to tell me how to write it. How do I write it? The 球.
Yeah. And then write the 球, the grass. 球地, you know, the 球地.
I don't know how to write it. See, this is like when you learn characters, and like I can read it.
I have
I can't write it
my board.
unless I look.
Let me wait.
Oh, you can put it in the comments.
Oh, but I have my I have my board as well. I should use
good.
it. Sorry.
Yeah, you want to share screen with the board, or you mean your board?
No, I mean my.
I need to get more technologically advanced, because I know, like, if you do Zoom calls, you can use a whiteboard and write. And you know what? That's why I don't write enough. I can read it. If you show it to me, I will read it, no problem. And I think it's fascinating, different parts of your brain.
I should write this one. Sorry. Let me just type for you. The 球.
Of course. So if you see it, it's like, yeah, thank you. So you've got the 头发头, and then you've got the yet. And then underneath you've got the like that.
Yeah. So for the radical is on the top. So and then it was put on the top, and then this one is related to the grass. So we would just call it like 球发头. So because it's related to flower, related to the plants, related to the grass, and then normally this radical we put on the head of the other part. So we just name it like 头发头. Yeah.
Because even if you wait, what's that character? Nothing.
Is everyone here? Is everyone here? Let me see. Oh, we have 5 people here.
Okay, awesome. So we're kind of talking about the different parts of the radical, and I'm going to go actually to the next screen or the next slide, because there I use this one. So we can actually, in addition to that 头发头, there's different ways to call the radicals, right? And the one that Gloria is just telling us was the one for the having to do with plants and grass and flowers, and you're going to see that one a lot. This is another super popular one, the yan. So Gloria, how do you call this one if you're telling somebody how to write it?
You mean how to write or how to name it?
How to name it?
Name the radical for yan, right?
Yeah, like if you're telling me how to write the character for Hall, like saying Hall 小姐, Hall 先生. How would you?
Then I would say 单人邊 or 單人旁. Yeah, 单人邊 or 單人旁. Yes. So 單 means single. Yeah. So 單人旁 is like single person part. That kind of radical.
That's so interesting, because I would say KM Bean.
Oh yeah, we have another saying like KM bin as well.
Yeah. I have not heard the one you use, but people say, oh, the KM bin, and then
yeah, my mom say KM bin as well. It depends on
That's
how
because
people
I'm
call
old,
it.
maybe.
No, it depends. It depends. It's okay once people understand that,
Yeah.
because it's like a man is like a human stand up, so it's okay.
Yeah, the KM bin.
Mm.
Right. So this one also has a lot of words that have this radical. So if anyone's listening, if you want to put some of the characters that you know that have this radical in the comments, that would be great. Because the one that I did a little video on was this one here, which it combines, because we talk about how the radical gives meaning to the character. So you've got the radical being the yan, right? The person. And so you're figuring like, okay, maybe this has something to do with people. Not always, but sometimes. And then this side of the character gives a little bit of a pronunciation hint, right? So if you know what that character is, then you might guess that it would be pronounced the same. And you would be right, right?
Yeah, that will be like hall, right? Hall. For the right part, it will pronounce like hall, like
Yep.
hall yi, like
Yeah.
hall yi. We will say this one.
That's really terrible writing on my side, but ha yi. Yeah.
That's
And
good.
this one would be your second tone by itself going up, right? That would be your ha. But together, this character changes tone, doesn't it? And the tone for the
Yes.
ha.
Hall. Yeah. So like before, what we say is the radical will gives the meaning, and the rest of parts, they will give you the pronunciation of this character. So like this one will pronounce like hall, right? Hall.
Yeah. Yep. And then another really common one that I think is interesting, because you get in the radical form, you get different types. So you've got the full character here, and then you've got this. It most often like appears like that, or it could appear like this, right?
Yeah.
And for this one, actually, I wanted to show you guys something, because, writing on the whiteboard is good. And if you're learning characters, you should be writing on your whiteboard every single day, or on your app or on your iPad, or somehow getting practice writing the characters. I should do that because I know more.
Yeah, we type it up. Like tips one is like practice writing. Right? Your handwriting. Practice writing.
Yeah, and right from the beginning, get in the habit of writing, because even though you can look at the character and you know that, oh, yeah, yi, sam, say, I know how to recognize them. Because when I was learning, I was told that you're learning to write in order to read, right? Because that's why, like, some of the characters, I know how to read them, but I don't know how to write them, because I don't write about grass and flowers that often, but I write a lot of basic characters that you use like in everyday conversation. So those are good. Maybe if I gardened or had a garden or something, or grew flowers, I would I would do that more. But I wanted to show you guys some way that you can, so you can see we've got so, which is water, and the two different forms. So I'm going to stop sharing that screen for a moment and go to Cantonese Chic. If you guys have seen my videos at all, you know that I'm a big lover of Cantonese Chic. And I think that when you want to find, Cantonese Chic has a dictionary component to it. If this is the first time you're seeing it, this is going to be life-changing, or in your Cantonese learning journey, because if you're on the desktop, it is phenomenal. So Cantonese Chic, right up there, can put the link later in the description, but this one has a Cantonese dictionary with it. And on the side here, you'll see you can search by English meaning, Chinese character, word, initials, finals, which I've never used, Yut Peng, the Pinyin, the Mandarin, or the radical. So when you click the radical box, right, it changes, and then you click over here, and then you find your radical, right? So the radicals are classified according to their strokes, and that is true whether or not you're on a dictionary like that, or you're on a dictionary, I don't know if you guys can see it, like this. This is my old, super old, taped together dictionary that I use, and every dictionary is going to have your radical index. And in the radical index, it's then organized by stroke. So I'm going to go back to Cantonese Chic here because you can see it a lot easier. And most of you are on a computer. Well, all of you are watching this or your phone. You search then through here. So here we can see we've got the KM bin or the yan, right? Danyan bin or danyan. How do you call it? The danyan, yeah. Dan.
Danyan Pong.
Danyan Pong.
Danyan
Okay.
Pong or Danyan Bin or KM Bin. Yeah,
Okay.
all of them. Yeah, it works.
Okay. So then you'll notice that here you've got 207 different character entries that have the yan radical, starting with the character itself and then the radical form and going down, down, down. So you need to know how to count the stroke order too, which is another reason you should be writing the character, because when you write the character, you count the strokes, right? So you'll know how many strokes there are. And sometimes it can be deceptive because, for example, the so radical, right? How many strokes are in so water? Do you know? Because I got it wrong. According to this dictionary, but anyway, we're looking at the yan. Yan is 2. It's quite easy, right? And then you count the strokes. So if we had to count the strokes in the hall, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It should be 7. Maybe I'm wrong. Yes. Okay. And then you can go to that character, right? And you can learn all about it. It tells you the radical over here, which is this, and you can click on that to go back to the radical of the yan. But anyway, this is a really cool way to find the radical. If you think it is the yan radical, you can go here and search for it and then learn the meaning of it. And so that's a way that Cantonese Chic can be used if you know the character, but you don't know how to pronounce it and you don't know the meaning, right? But you know that, okay, well, I see the person, the campaign in there, so maybe it's that one. And then you just count the strokes and go look for it, right? So that's really how Cantonese Chic can be another, maybe unused. And a lot of you are using Cantonese Chic simply for the English meaning, right? And you put the English meaning in person, and you'll get to a lot of different things that mean people. Click on the one you want. But yeah, looking for the radicals, start using that. It's pretty cool. So, okay, I'm going to stop share again and go back. Let's see, it just takes a minute. Yeah, so the water radical is another one, right, that has different forms. And also, here's one that does not have a different form typically. It's your hao radical for mouth. It's super popular. You have a lot of characters that are used this radical. And they typically have something to do with the mouth. Yeah. Can you think of any, Gloria, off the top of your head?
You mean about with the mouth one?
Yeah.
Like Meng Ji.
Meng Ji.
Yeah, because we need to call. We need to use our mouth to call someone's name, to adjust someone's name, right? Like Meng or Mang.
Yeah, Meng or Mang. I was going to just go back to show you guys the that water radical, which, again, how many strokes are in water? Because I got it wrong. I think.
Are you waiting for an answer?
Yeah, I'm waiting for an answer. I can't see if anybody's chiming in because my computer screen is too small. But the water radical, yeah, I honestly had to go through and go like, okay, I know it's like either 1, 2, 3, or else 4, right? So if you look at 3, right? Yeah, yi, sam. If you bring them all together, but I don't think it is.
It would be sam. It would be sam.
Really? Okay. Where is it then? Because this is the like three strokes. Do you guys see it?
It seems like your screen is frozen for us.
Oh no. Oh shoot. Okay, hold on, because I found, well, I'll tell you then, if you can't see what I'm doing, I found it under the 4. Am I still, is it still frozen?
Oh yeah, we can see you now. But okay. It's about the water one.
Yeah. Oh shoot, what am I doing water for? We're talking about the mouth. My gosh, guys. 1, 2, 3, right? Yeah, yi sam, English sam, samwa.
Yeah. Samwa.
Do you see it? I see down box. Yeah, yeah. That's so weird. Maybe, yeah, 3. Sorry, mouth. Here we go. Sorry, everybody. Oh my goodness. Yeah. So here's our mouth, and the ha is actually with that mouth radical as well. Giu. Yeah, called. So again, this is
Call.
like,
Just now I mentioned about Mang, right?
Gato strokes.
6
Gato
like down there.
6.
Name.
Oh, here, this one. Yeah,
Yeah.
the man. Yep, that's got
This
your
one we
mouth.
have the mouse there.
Mm-hmm.
And lots of final particles. We have the mouse like the there, the 7 strokes, the first one, the final
Mm-hmm.
particle. Yeah, we will have So if you read some Cantonese sentence and then you find the last one with the mouse there, the last character, mostly don't ask the teacher what's that mean. So you should know that that is a final particle. So don't be panicked. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I want to point out something about this one too. That's in Cantonese, there are a lot of Cantonese characters that add the mouth to make it a Cantonese spoken character. So, for
Ah.
example, right? So it gets
Mm,
confusing if you're learning and you're like, well, hold on a minute, because I know that, like, for example, that all day, they it
yeah.
just adds the mouth, and then adding the mouth on the side denotes it's a Cantonese spoken character. It's not a standard written character, right? But it's important
Yeah.
to know that when you're learning, there are characters that actually have the mouth radical, and they're standard written characters. They're not Cantonese characters, right? So all of
Mm-hmm.
these, right? Yeah, because that's kind of confusing too, because you're like, okay, I see the mouth on the side. Does that mean it's like a Cantonese spoken character? And if you don't know what
No.
I'm talking about, I'll show you um, they, like this one here, right?
This day is
Hmm.
only oral way for
Right.
Cantonese. Yeah, because we will say like ngõ mun. Like down there, they will say like ta mun. Standard Chinese, it shows that on the top. Yeah, on the top it say
Oh,
like
yeah,
ta
yeah,
mun.
yeah. Hmm.
Yeah. So this one is the written way, and with the mouse one there, actually is the oral way. It's very special one for
Yeah.
Cantonese.
That's why it's sometimes confusing because you're like, but you can kind of tell because that looks like it's all smushed in there, right? Like they're adding it. It doesn't look because Chinese characters are so like perfectly positioned. And sometimes when you see a Cantonese spoken character, they shove the mouth radical, just denoting or telling you that that's a spoken character only. So I think that's kind of
Yeah.
cool. Yeah. But
Mm-hmm.
then there are a lot that have the uh, mouth radical by itself. Okay. So I'm going to stop sharing that one again and go back to what I've got here. So then the next thing I wanted to do is talk about where they came from because they've been around for a long time. And thanks, I actually got a book at this library sale. This book here is just Chinese, and it's literally talking all about Chinese, the history of Chinese, all the special different things. It's really quite interesting going back to like the characters when they were like in pictograph form, stuff like that. And this book as well references. Did you know this, Gloria? I mean, is this because the next thing I want to talk about is how you learned radicals, and they're talking about the. Okay, so this is the Mandarin Pinyin, but the
Mm.
Shutman Gaiji. Is that how
I
it's like?
know that. I know this book, but we don't learn from this book though. So
Well,
wait. I was planning to show you guys like what the Chinese book for the Chinese people.
okay,
Okay.
cool. Because yeah, I want to talk more now like, about how you learned them compared to how I learned them. Which yeah.
You should share. You should share first because I'm looking for it. Yeah, I'm
Okay.
still searching it. Yeah.
Okay, so I can tell you guys that the way I learned and the way that I'm teaching other people to learn is through. I'll share my screen and show you actual a page from the book that we use. And for example, this one here, this is our lesson 6, vocabulary, and you'll get the character, the pronunciation for it. And I caved, I broke down, I put the yupeng in there too because I realized, it's important to. Uh, and then the meaning, which sometimes for this character, Liu, it could be quite complicated because it's used in different ways. But then you get the radical here, which is this hooked downstroke I was telling you about that. I mean, could is how you pronounce it. And for example, this one, fa, which means fire, that's the complete character. And they show it here in radical form as the, how do you, the say dim dai, right?
Say dim
Say dim,
dai.
say dim dai,
Right.
right?
Yeah, because it's put on the bottom. The bottom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Put on the bottom, I can make it bigger. Yeah, put on the bottom of the character there. So when I was learning like this, I was way more focused on just the character itself. And the radicals were there. And you kind of realize that, oh, okay, I'm seeing this radical all the time. The yat, which means sun or day. And this is zhou, right? Meaning morning, early, not really, just well, yeah, zhou, zhou, which means early. And you see that radical a lot. So kind of, and then, people tell you how to write the characters and they're like, okay, I'm being, or the, say dim dai, or the Tofata or something like that. And then you get to kind of recognize them like that. But I never sat down and learned all 214 radicals. I didn't, that maybe we were
You just need
supposed
to learn some basic, some common one.
See, that's what I thought too, but that's more my personality kind of too. The way I learn is just kind of learn a little bit, move on, learn a little bit, and then it just kind of all comes together. But I know I've got some students that really enjoy learning all the radicals and doing it that way. And it really got me more interested in learning about radicals, learning more about them because, like I said, they're there, but I don't really use them. So, Gloria, how did you learn? I'm going to stop
Okay.
sharing. You got.
And let me share my screen.
Okay.
Wait.
Because I never really asked anybody before, like, how did you learn radicals? Like in school, are you tested on them? Are you,
Yeah, we do.
Patient?
Let me share you with the Chinese book. Okay, with the Chinese book. Let me share. You see, this is our, what's that? Here is our Chinese book for the grade 1 student. So at the beginning, we just teach the student like how to write it's the store, something like that. It's the same like you're doing. And then what we show is like, oh, there are picture, and then this one is about ear. Sorry, because we are in Mandarin, so our books is in Simplify. So here it is with the ear one. So it shows it other than this kid. Then the teacher teaches us, oh, plants, this one is R in Mandarin, and this means ko in Mandarin, shou in Mandarin is like that. So even though this one, the joke, like joke, we don't always use this one, but we need to learn this one first because in the future it will become a radical. So a teacher will teach us this, and it's right. We will learn like say first because it's quite easy, and then you will see that we need to practice like this as well. So we are the same like you. So don't tell me that you feel like learning Chinese is so painful, but as a native speaker, we still need to do like this. If you want to speak like a native speaker, recognize the character like a native speaker, you have to bear this, right?
Yeah. Actually, my kids. Sorry.
And then we will also see like, oh, here is the yard. It looks like here is before as a kid, but like as Asian, and then we will write like this. Before we like this. So this is a very common basic characters we are going to learn. And then after that, we are going to learn lots of characters. So, and then the teachers let us to, match this character you will see. It's like that. So that is how we basically learn. And then let me go to the final page. Okay. So for the final page here, it shows about the radical, how to call the radical as well. Like here, just now I mentioned about this one. Just now we say that is Bin or Pong. So see, that's how I learned this is called Pong. So we will have these common radicals here we need to learn. And also here is all this new vocabulary we learn. And after one semester, we need to recognize this character. So that's for us how we learn Chinese as a Mandarin in simplified Chinese. So it will be like this.
So are the radicals different in simplified than they are in traditional? They should be the same, right? Did they
What?
change the radicals? Are radicals are the radicals the same in simplified and traditional? Or
Some of them are different. For example, like the why I don't have the board here, like the 引字旁, right? Like the 引字旁. 引字旁.
I don't know that
Let me
one.
show.
Indeed.
Why? How could I write?
Yeah,
Is
probably
there
not.
a writing board?
I
There's a writing board here.
oh, maybe.
Oh no, they don't.
I don't think so though. Maybe I don't have
Oh,
the
I
ability.
should. I should like give the board. Sorry, I
Oh,
should
the
prepare.
writer. We've got a comment. Please let us know the writer of the book. The book that you, I'm assuming
We
the book
don't.
that you showed.
We don't know the writer of the books as well.
Is it just like where can you buy it? Can you buy it online?
I think no. They say your book, our teaching material, not this one.
Oh,
Not the one I mentioned. Yeah, it's a long time ago. This comment. I mean this radical. Do you see this screen?
yes.
This one could be a radical, right? In Japan. Let me see. That one is a radical for in Japan. Yeah, let me just search here. Sorry. Okay, so you could see my Google page, right?
Yes,
Could you
yeah.
see my?
Yeah, sorry.
So
Just right here.
this
Mhm.
one is simplified one, and this one is the traditional one. So some of them will be different, right?
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah, like the shoot in written
Oh, of
in
course. Yeah,
simplify is this one, yeah, and
yeah.
then the traditional it will become this. So
Okay.
it's kind of different.
Yeah, of course. That makes sense. Okay. So,
Most are similar.
right. So, yeah, so I really wanted to talk about that, like how you learned compared to how I learned and how that and how, but the other thing is, how are you using them? Because nowadays, like we showed Cantonese Chic, I mean, most people look stuff up by the pinyin, the phonetic system, or they look it up by English meaning, or I mean, even in this dictionary, you can look it up by, my goodness, stroke order, the phonetic system, the English meaning. And so radicals, I've never used a radical to look a character up, ever. Do you use
Never.
them? No,
Yeah, we
never.
do. Like I remember when I was grade 3, and then we will have a dictionary is 新华字典, like 三华字典. And
Mhm.
then inside, the teachers will teach you how, oh, we have different ways to search your character. First things is according to how it look, because you
Right.
don't know its pronunciation. So we need to search it according to what you see this character. So like just last Sue showed us, first you see, oh, we will have this kind of radical, and first you need to count how many stores of this radical. For
Yeah.
example, like just now we say the 三点水, right? It will have 3, and then we look for that one. Oh, I think I should look for a dictionary for you guys. Wait.
Diana, my book. Oh, do you mean this book? Which book do you mean? I'm so sorry. The book, if it's this book, Jerry Norman, and it's actually really old. I think we got this like at a library book sale, and it was published a long time ago, like in I think it was published in 1990. But it's really interesting. The varieties of Chinese, the linguistics, it's just really, yeah. Wow, it was published by Cambridge University Press in 1988. So if it's this one you're looking for, yeah, I'm not sure, but that's that one. And if you're interested in the teaching books, Chinese University, but they're also not available anymore.
Okay, so here is normally how the Chinese dictionary look like, and this is content of the radical. So we will
Radical.
have the radical page first, right? So for
Yep.
example, this is the first drawer. For example, if we're looking for the 单人旁 or 开人旁, so it's like here is the
Yeah.
second drawer. So we look at it, and it shows here is the page. So we will go to like 17, right? 17
Mhm.
subset, and then we come to this page is for those radical. So for example, we will come to like subtab page. So it's this page. Then you will find the human radical is here. And then it will show you all this. And then once when you show it here, you still don't know what's the meaning of it and how to use it and the pronunciation of it. So you have to go to the page like, oh, right now you need to go to, like, for example, you need to go to 仔, let's say 仔 is 277, right? 277, then you say, oh, 277. And then you go to 277, yeah, you will find this one plus 仔. And then what's that mean?
That is, yeah. And mine, actually, you know, I'm like, I never use the radicals. That's not true, actually. Because if you recognize that there is like the water radical in it, the same thing, you could either, like in my Chinese English dictionary, you can go find the water radical. And then Gloria, like you said, I can either go to the section. Oh, I just opened to the section. But you can go to the section itself, and then you can, yeah, like here it starts the water radical page. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can count the strokes if you want. Then I'm like, okay, well, I know it's because it's all organized by strokes as well. Then you count the strokes and you're like flipping through it, flip through. But, you know, sometimes it's really tedious because, oh my gosh, I'm still on the water radical. Yeah. It's this many pages in the book. I don't know if you can tell. There's got to be at least 25 pages of just the water radical. So you flip through it and you're like looking and stuff. So it's not maybe the most effective and fastest way to find it, but you can, because like we said, it's going to be, wait, I'll show you. They split it up. Well, in any case, that's how you can do it. So I have done that before when you have a character and then, but sometimes you have to guess because the character could have more than one radical in it, right? You could have them.
Yeah.
And so you're like, well, which one is it? And so sometimes it could be kind of not very efficient to look because it could be that radical, could be this one. But if you really have no idea what it means and you've got no other way to find it, yeah, I would go the radical way to find it. So yeah. Diane, good. I'm glad. Yeah, Jerry Norman. Again, I hope you can find it. It should be available even maybe online just for free because it is quite old. Yeah, and it's interesting so far. So let's see, what else did I have? I don't think I had much else because I don't think I had much else to share. That was kind of like us, how we learned it, and then how you guys can learn it. Again, I would absolutely recommend Cantonese Chic. It is such a brilliant resource. Pleco. Oh, this is one thing. Gloria, did you know, for those of you using the Pleco app, do you know that there's this Cantonese.org? I think it was. I just, this might be another way. I'm not sure about learning radicals, but I just came upon it yesterday. I don't know how new it is. Sorry, let me stop my screen again and go looking. But it's Cantonese.org and it's from Pleco. So if you're using the Pleco dictionary app on your phone, I don't, just because I'm not usually on my phone doing work. I'm on
Pleco, right? Pleco?
I say Pleco, but is it Pleco? I'm not sure how to pronounce it. I don't know how to.
Pleco, right?
Yeah, Pleco.
Well, my phone don't have enough space, so I just don't have any dictionaries there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just use this one. The website one is quite helpful. Mm-hmm.
I think it was this one I came upon yesterday. I was looking for something. Yeah, I don't know if you guys have seen this one. CC Canto, a fast free online dictionary from Pleco. I say Pleco. I don't know how to pronounce it. But yeah, and you can look by the characters, English. I'm guessing that's simplified. The pinyin, the yutpeng. Yeah. And so it seems to be kind of like a Cantonese Chic in beta form. I mean, I don't know if I put person in there. Yeah, they're going to come up with what?
Could they pronounce? Why they show like this?
Yeah, why do they have water? Why do they have this?
Because they search all the people there down here. because they have the meaning of they
Oh,
have the people in the meaning.
yeah, that's right. So this could be
Mhm.
confusing because if you're looking for the character that means person, well, that's not going to be it, of course. But then you really have
Mhm.
to look at, yeah, but interesting if they're going to be doing this. I've never seen this before. So if you guys use Pleco, whatever it is, and you know, oh, there's our say theme tai, right? The fire rat.
Say dim sum.
Yeah. But then again, maybe it's the anyway. Um, yeah, so I just thought I would show you guys that because that was something new to me. Maybe it's not new, but it's in beta. So yeah. But otherwise, that's pretty much it. I didn't really have a lot else. Use your Cantonese Chic. Be writing characters, even if they're easy, on paper, on a whiteboard, on your iPad, in the air, even just to get used to the stroke order. Because looking stuff up by stroke order is going to be important. And if you know how to write the character, it's easier to count the strokes if you learn to write them properly.
Yeah,
And
and how do people learn, and how of our audience learn radicals?
yeah, how are you guys learning the radicals? Or are you learning the radicals? Hello. Any of you guys
Hi,
still
Sari.
watching? Learning? Yo. Hi. Um, any of you learning radicals and how you're
I
learning
think
them?
learning, I think learning radical is quite cool. I mean, because I understand that for adults, we don't have lots of time to learn
Mhm.
have a Chinese class, or learn to read, because it's so like so difficult, and also we don't have time. But once we if we learn the basic radical, so you could just learn it by yourself. You don't need to follow a teacher. You could just learn it by yourself, buy a dictionary, or don't need to buy a dictionary, because the e-dictionary is more helpful because there has sounds there. Yeah. So we have a comment. It
Mhm.
says that
Oh, I can show it.
just remember it by instance.
Mhm.
Wow, you're quite smart.
Yeah, but that's something that I think you're brilliant if you can memorize them by instinct, because that's kind of what I did too. Didn't really do the radicals, but repetition, right? You see the same parts of the character, they just rearrange them into different ways. So I mean, I totally get why it's memorization, but are you writing them? Because writing them can really help you learn, like memorize them even more when you go through the effort to actually write the strokes out. So I kind of tell my students that all the time. Like, I know you might think it's easy and you can recognize them because, Gloria, I think it's true too. With your students, there comes a point after which they're like, oh, it's more difficult to just memorize it without recognizing the different parts of the character, if that makes sense. And then that's where it can kind of get more useful to start writing them. So it's never too late to start writing them. But yeah, yeah. And
and and the radical is like in English, right? It's like a part in English, like we put in like the suffix,
right,
like
suffix and the prefix.
preface, yeah, like this. So
Mhm.
once when you learn it, it can help you to guess the meaning. So yeah.
That too, but also, I was like, for example, the word, and these are things as a native English speaker, I never really connected before because we don't learn them typically. Like sometimes we do, like a root word. Like I think of identity, identify, identical. Like they're all from that ident kind of root word. So in English too,
Mhm.
we do have words that share the same root, but then you add something different, like identical and identify are kind of two separate things, right? I wouldn't say they mean the same
Mhm.
thing, but they come from the same root word, and from there you can kind of guess the meaning. So there are some similarities to learning English, learning the characters. So
Mhm.
yeah,
I
totally agree with you, John, on that one. Depends on what point of the journey you're at and your own preferred learning style. Completely. My learning style was like, okay, I got it. Move on in a way. And yeah. And Diana, yes, I'm so glad to hear it. If you're in Hong Kong, you are at such an advantage because every time you go out the door, you see characters everywhere. And if you start actively paying attention to them, it's just an easy way to learn. Like so many people live there and they're everywhere and you see them, but they don't really take a moment to, like, if you're sitting on the tram and just look at the street signs and see how many you can kind of identify. There's like a whole row of pharmacies. You're going to see this character named Madison, all of them. And then from there, you can see that, yeah, has a Chohanao, am I right? That, yeah, and then you can notice that. And you'll see that in other places. Anyway, yeah, reading is the least interesting part. Why, John? Why is it the least interesting? I'm not saying it's like you should find it interesting, because it's frustrating sometimes because the word order in Chinese is so convoluted compared to how
The sound, right?
yeah, like the question words usually at the end, the way that they describe something, and then "Baek yan." And so the yan is your subject, but the blah 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 blah, like this person, like living in the house across the street, you're a person. So you're like, what am I talking about? And then finally you get to the sentence, the subject of the sentence.
Speaking and listening is the preference. Yeah, I understand. And it depends. Like for me, when I learn a language, I have to know how to spell it. How could I read it? I'm this kind of person. I'm not like when people say something, I repeat it, then I could remember it. I have to see it directly. So yeah, it depends on your style, your learning style.
Yeah, and also the your goal, because like if your goal is absolutely speaking and listening and picking it up that way, that's if that's your goal and you're never going to read or write, then that's fine. That's great too. But then it would be like, okay, I need to learn menus. I need to learn food, like the characters, because then of course your whole world is opened up when you can go into a restaurant in Hong Kong or in China and read, in Taiwan and Singapore, wherever you are, and read the actual characters. And also too, because as you guys know, English menus that are translated sometimes are absolutely meaningless. Like the 4 lucky treasures or whatever that dish is, I can't remember how many. It means nothing in English. So if you have, well, sometimes it means nothing in Chinese too. But if you have that ability to read the characters, then that just kind of opens up more opportunity to speak to your waiter or waitress, server. Yeah, I know what you're saying. Yeah, I totally understand. Well, hey, if you want to join us, we've got character courses over at Cantolingo, and they're super fun and tend to be, I think the best thing about our course is that you're not overwhelmed. You have a sense of accomplishment because each lesson has 20 characters, and you learn the characters, the radicals if you want to, and then the combinations, like character combinations. And in that way, you kind of have a really good foundation for when then you go out. That's what I did. Like I've got 3 volumes of the book, which translates into 6 levels technically. I think I did them all, but after a point, I kind of stopped, and then I was just out and about looking at the characters, taking my flashcards, which I didn't show you guys, but like we do flashcards as well. And the blue is the radical, and the black is the other part of the character. So that's 4. Which other one? Like the thaw. Your thaw is just going to be that, the radical there, thaw character. So we get that one. So you get, I just took my flashcards. I got a box of 1,000 and I just took them with me on the minibus or wherever. And I just did it like that. And I stopped kind of like learning in school kind of thing. Well, I never learned in school. I just bought the books and did it on my own. So it's not like you have to go to a class to learn Chinese. Like Gloria was saying, there's so many great free resources. This one. Yeah. So,
Okay.
yeah. Any other questions or anything you wanted to say or share? Just because I did these screens, I'm going to share them. It's a wrap. But if you do want to learn more about characters, check it out over at kindleduo.com. And thank you guys. I love doing these. It's so much fun because I feel like I learned something, always learning something. And it's nice to share this with you guys. And thank you. Thank you, Gloria.
Thank you for inviting me.
Yeah,
I'm
of course.
pretty late today.
Will you be doing a live stream this weekend over on your channel? Because don't
Yeah,
forget that at Dope Chinese, right? That's your YouTube channel.
the Chinese with Gloria.
Mhm.
Yeah. If you would like to learn more, you go to that one, and then we are going to learn some speaking part there.
Yeah. So Gloria is going to be doing one. That's a question this weekend, right? Hachikin.
Yeah,
Yeah. This is our
okay.
fine. But yeah, and then our next live stream, we're going to try it. I mean, maybe every other week. Do you think, Gloria?
Yeah,
Or
if
whenever
you have any idea or anything you want to learn, just let us know. Sometimes we just don't have any. We don't have any idea. We don't know what you like to watch. Yeah, and we could prepare some of them. Yeah. So leave us a comment if you have some topic you would like to mention. Okay.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and we'll see you guys next time, probably in a week or so, or Gloria this weekend.
Yay.
Okay, bye everybody. Thank you guys so much.